Good morning everyone, Just a Ride Snowboard channel. I'm Lars Horstman and this is a bit of an opinion piece. I'm going to swap bindings from my shorty to my tree surfer. It's still powering up there. And my question to you is, how many bindings do you need in your quiver? If you are one of the lucky people like myself who have multiple snowboards, do you really need a binding for every single one of them? My personal take is it takes exactly one set of bindings for a snowboarder to be happy. If you have crazy different boards, maybe you want two sets. There's multiple reasons for this. I often get the question, which binding should I put on this board? Which binding should I put on that board? Personally, I think the majority of bindings goes pretty well with the majority of snowboards, unless you have two things at the very ends of the spectrum, being like a really stiff board and a very soft binding. That's not going to go that well, or vice versa, that won't go that well either. But most bindings are going to go with most snowboards. And if you look at my quiver, so I got about 12, 13 snowboards, and out of those I use about 9 on a regular basis. If all of those boards here had a binding on there, I'd take up the entire board and ski shelf and my wife would be very upset. Taking the last space for her skis. So yeah, that's one thing, storing, right? Another thing is traveling. How do you want to travel with 3 snowboards and 3 bindings? Eventually you're going to settle for one, right? Like throw that in your bag and call it a day. The biggest thing about having all these bindings is if you mount up all your boards and you just leave them forever, you'll likely be waxing and tuning them with the bindings on. So all this time your screws are going to pull on the inserts. And that causes those dimples underneath the board in the base, right where the inserts are placed. And that's just silly, that's just ugly. You should anyways release the screws for waxing at the very least, or take the bindings off. It makes less of a mess. So if you actually take that a little bit more seriously and you take the bindings off every time you wax, and you also wax on a regular basis, well, then you're constantly messing with your bindings anyways. And basically, what I'm trying to promote here is the idea, it's way smarter, like 2 sets of bindings buy you a snowboard. It's way smarter to build a bit of a quiver of boards and have 1 or 2 bindings that you quickly swap like I do here in the morning. If I'm not talking, that will probably take me no more than 2 minutes. And I think 2 minutes to swap a pair of bindings is pretty reasonable and is not a problem in regards to convenience. All right, always make sure you tuck your high backs in and close the straps for transport. Tree surfer is ready to go. If you like what you are seeing on this channel and you like my thought-provoking ideas, please feel free to support me on buymeacoffee.com/justaride. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you know what's coming up next. And please let me know in the comments how you handle your quiver, how many bindings you have, and how often you swap, and whether you do or not take them off for waxing and board maintenance. All right, see you out there. Hope you get some power, as I will right now. Bye-bye.